We said that ignorance is dangerous, and it comes when we know what we are supposed to do and yet we don't do it, or maybe we literally don't have any information of what we are supposed to do. That is ignorance. But the worst ignorance is when you know what you are supposed to do but still you don't do it. That is ignorance. And remember, knowledge will always govern ignorance. And especially when we embrace the package of power that comes with knowledge that is implemented. When we have knowledge and we implement what we know, that gives knowledge power. But when we know what we are supposed to do and yet we don't do, then it becomes ignorance. I told you about my story with my daughter. Now she's very sick. What I had seen in the dream now is manifesting. And you know, most of the inventions that you see, they all started in the dream. The railway station, the bulb, the man who invented the bulb, he first dreamt of it. And then what he dreamt in the dream, now he comes and tried to put it into practice. And there came the bulb. We cannot ignore the small details in life. Those small little details, when ignored, they can cause something that we can never reverse back. Right now, my child is very sick. After I had ignored that dream, she's now in hospital with a lot of oxygen. She's being put on oxygen and feeding tubes. That is why I'm saying it's better to seek knowledge. Literally, I didn't know what I was supposed to do with those dreams that I was dreaming. And that is why I just sat down and said, after all, it's just a dream. But I didn't know something was being communicated to me. Because exactly what I saw in the dream is exactly now manifesting. We are now in the hospital. She cannot speak. She cannot cry. She cannot open her eyes. She is there, lying lifelessly. Between life and death, she was fighting. The platelet is going down. Nobody knows. One side of her body is completely dead. And the other side that is a bit alive is twitching. Twitching is a version of convulsion. She's twitching on one side, the whole one side, and sweating on one side, whereas the other side is completely dead. And do you know what? On our way to the hospital, I remember I was in my sister's house, me and my child. And my sister's child called my dad and told my dad, Guka, do you know what? Njoki's daughter is completely sick and she's almost dying. Do you know what my father told her? Can you lay your hands on that baby and declare life? Assume you are me. Use my authority to restore back the life of your cousin. And that is exactly what my daughter, my nephew did. He took his hand and put it on top of my daughter's head and declared those words. I want also to note that the power of the word, the power of the spoken word. My father assured me that everything will be all right by those words that he spoke. When we are now in the hospital and everything is going south, my child is being fed on tubes. She cannot eat. When you feed her through the tubes, she throws up everything. Nothing was staying in the stomach. Nothing. Her weight deteriorated. He became thinner. She could not even cry. You would just see tears rolling down, but she would not even have the sound to cry. She cannot go she cannot pee, she cannot poo. The liver has collapsed. The whole body is yellow. And when my sister, now this time, she was very desperate, she called my dad and told him, Dad, do you know what? My daughter is called Blessing. Do you know Blessings is not able to eat? And do you know what my dad said? She will not live because of what she's eating. She will live because of the word of God. The word of God is powerful. The word of God is life. And those words were enough to make me stop crying and to help me continue fighting for her. The power of the word. The power of the word. Be also very careful on those people that you surround yourself with. There are people who spoke negatively about her. There are people who came and said that she will die. But there were also other voices of life, that were saying she will live. And my father played a very, very, very major role in ensuring that my child came back to life. There were other voices that indicated we will bury her. And those were words that were being spoken to me by people. The power of the word. Choose your words. Choose your words. Choose those people you ought to be listening to. Not everything that is being spoken to you, then you take it. Ensure to be very choosy. Choose the words that should dictate your environment. The words that should dictate your next move. Not every word spoken about you, you take it. There are words you need to reverse. There are words you need to cancel. And by then, I didn't know how to pray. So I started now praying. Thanks to my sister who played a very major role to ensure that I was always praying. I started now praying. I started calling on God. And remember, I didn't have an idea of who God is. I started declaring life over my daughter's life. I started declaring that she will not die. I said she will not die. She cannot die. She must live. And that is the power of a mother. There is something that God has given in mothers. The power to speak life and to bring forth life. It's only women that are able to incubate and bring forth life. That is something that women were given, and nobody can take that. Somebody came and saw the condition of my daughter. Those people who comes around in the hospital encouraging people. She told me, do you know what? The life of your child is under your hands. She's very small and she don't know how to fight for herself. It's only you to fight for her. And I started now praying. I started praying. And I told God, the God of the Bible, the God that healed this cursed woman's baby. There was once a woman who came to Jesus, started crying to Jesus, asking Jesus, Jesus, would you heal my child? But Jesus could not listen. And even the disciples chased this woman away, the Canaanite woman. And they told her, can you go away? Because Jesus would not listen. But she continued crying out even louder until Jesus gave her the ear. She was cast, and when Jesus opened his mouth, do you know what he told her? I cannot give you the bread that belongs to the baby to a dog. According to Jesus, this woman was more or less a dog. Because of why? Because of her lineage. The lineage of this woman was questionable. He had come from that lineage of caste people. The Canaanite woman, Canaan, was from the lineage of that son of Noah that saw the nakedness of the father. And instead of covering the father, he went and called the other brothers to come and see the nakedness of the father. And this woman came from the Canaanite lineage. And I told God, if God, you had the power to heal the Canaanite woman who was cursed, I may carry a lot of curses, but there is grace. Do you know what? I continue confessing. The God who healed the Canaanite woman's child, do the same for me. And do you know what? The battle continued. The battle intensified. My daughter became worse. One diagnosis after another. But I didn't give up. I stood firm with the word of God. I stood firm with the God of the Bible, and I wanted to challenge him. God, are these just theory? Is this just theory that we read in the Bible? if it is theory, God. But he told me, no, it is not theory. My word is sure and it has been tested over and over again. And trust me, the God of the Bible can do the unimaginable. The next episode coming in soon.